Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really specific corner of test prep, CLOP reading part 2. Specifically, that diagram application section. Now you might be thinking, a diagram, what's so deep about that? Well, it's actually a fantastic example of how these tests check not just, reading, but how your brain connects different types of info, like a detective almost, cross-referencing clues, visual ones with written text, and all against the clock. It's more than just reading words.
hmm And what's really fascinating, I think, is how it bridges that visual and text stuff. It mirrors so many real-world things, right? Like interpreting charts at work or instructions with diagrams. You have to synthesize it quickly or you're just lost.
That's a great point. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. To get the strategy, we need the setup first. How CLP Reading Part 2 basically gives you a diagram and an email and says, figure out how these relate.
Exactly. And the email could be personal, could be work-related. And you've got two main things to do. First, there are 5 blanks inside the email text itself. And here's the key thing. Those blanks always connect directly to something in the diagram. Always. It's not guesswork.
Okay, crucial detail. 5 blanks, check the diagram. What's the second task?
Second is completing 3 statements. These statements are about the email's content, the overall message or specific details within it.
And it's pretty interactive the way you answer, isn't it? Like the options aren't just sitting there. You have to click that little arrow icon, the down arrow,
Yep,
and then a drop-down box appears with all the choices for the blanks and for those statements.
exactly. It keeps things moving. And it means you can't just passively read. You have to actively scan both the diagram and the statements back and forth. Your eyes are darting around looking for those connections.
So it's not just basic reading comprehension. It feels like there are other skills being tested pretty hard here. What are those sort of deeper cognitive things CLPP is looking for?
That's a really good way to put it. It really boils down to, I'd say, 3 key skills. First is that active scanning we mentioned, quickly finding the relevant bits.
Right.
Second is constantly referring back to the chart, the diagram, that mental toggling between image and text.
Mm-hmm.
And third, and this is important, making inferences. It's not always just finding the exact word. Sometimes, like, the diagram might show opening hours, and the email asks about the latest possible arrival. You have to infer that from the data.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So scanning, referring, and inferring. Got it. That makes sense. And you mentioned a strategic tip before, something about how the answers follow the text. How does that work?
Yes. This is honestly a huge help. It just means that once you find the answer for, say, blank number 1,
Yeah.
the answer for blank number 2 will be further down in the email text. You don't need to constantly reread the whole thing from the top. It gives you a path. You just keep moving forward through the email as you find each answer.
That's actually brilliant. Like a little roadmap hidden in the text itself. Especially considering the time pressure, right? You only get 9 minutes for the whole section.
9 minutes. That's it.
Wow. That's barely enough time to, well, do anything. So efficiency isn't just helpful, it's like everything.
It's absolutely everything. You need that strategy locked down. You need to know about the blanks linking to the diagram. You need to use that answers follow the text trick. Getting stuck or just randomly scanning, that's where people lose precious time. Practice is key.
So wrapping this up, what's the bigger takeaway for our listeners? Beyond just the test, CELAP Reading Part 2, it sounds like it's less about diagrams and emails and more a kind of mini masterclass in putting information together quickly under pressure.
Exactly. And if you zoom out, it really underscores how vital it is not just to read, but to interpret, to apply information you get from different places, whether that's a chart, a report, an email chain. It's a fundamental skill way beyond any test. It's how we navigate, our complex, information-heavy world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we hope this deep dive has maybe shed some light on tackling these kinds of information challenges, whether they're on a test or, just out there in life.
And maybe it leaves you with a question to think about. Where else in your day-to-day life could connecting information from something visual, like a map or a chart, to something written? Where could that give you a real edge, something to ponder for your next aha moment?